On the eve of the wedding, full of joyful anticipation, Fu Ning looked forward wholeheartedly to marrying Gu Peizi, her childhood sweetheart of 8 years, firmly believing that they would spend their entire lives together with no regrets. However, her best friend approached her with a solemn expression and asked a sharp question out of the blue. She reminded Fu Ning to verify the truth carefully. If her fiancé, who had accompanied her for many years, secretly kept a long-term hidden lover right before the grand wedding, what would she do to deal with it? Fu Ning only took it as a ridiculous joke and smiled calmly in response. She insisted that even if all men in the world betrayed their partners, Gu Peizi would never do such a thing. They had grown up side by side for 8 years. When Gu Peizi was down and out with a miserable life, it was Fu Ning who stayed by his side without hesitation and accompanied him through every hard time. When his entrepreneurial career was on the verge of collapse and trapped in desperate difficulties, Fu Ning lowered her pride, begged her father in a humble manner to inject capital to bail him out, spared no effort to utilize all resources of the Fu family to pave the way for him, and single and action helped him rise from an unknown nobody to a powerful new tycoon in the business circle. More importantly, Gu Peizi had witnessed his biological father's dissolute behaviors and infidelity since he was a child, which completely destroyed his mother's life and happiness. He had sworn publicly that he would never repeat the same mistake and would only love Fu Ning wholeheartedly for the rest of his life. These profound past experiences made Fu Ning never have the slightest suspicion towards him. Her best friend fell silent for a moment, no longer arguing or explaining, and directly forwarded a private short video, which instantly shattered all Fu Ning's beautiful illusions about the future. In the video, a young and cute girl with red eyes acted coquetteously and cling to a man, begging him to take her to Shanghai Disneyland the next day. At first, Fu Ning subconsciously wanted to scroll past and give a like, but she froze in place the next second, staring fixedly at the man in the frame. The unique red mole on the tiger's mouth and the high-end customized watch on the wrist were all exclusive marks of Gu Peizi. The hard evidence was clear and undeniable, leaving no room for doubt. Before Fu Ning could calm down her turbulent emotions, her mobile phone popped up a ticket booking app push notification out of nowhere. Two real name ticket stubs for Shanghai Disneyland were clearly displayed on the screen, and the bound account was exactly Fu Ning's personal account, so she could see all his travel records clearly. The years of deep affection and persistent obsession collapsed completely in an instant. An endless coldness spread gradually from the bottom of her heart. That night, Gu Peizi came home pretending to be gentle and considerate. He hugged Fu Ning intimately from behind on purpose, acting coquettishly and saying that he had to go on a sudden business trip to Shanghai the next day for 2 days. He urged her to take care of all the wedding trivialities alone and promised to compensate her with sincere company as soon as he came back. However, Fu Ning smelled a strange sweetened greasy peach perfume on his collar, which made her feel nauseous physically and utterly chilled and alert mentally. Gu Peizi only used light woody fragrance daily for all cleaning products and never wore a rich and fragrant perfume of any kind. This unfamiliar scent fully confirmed all her guesses. She suppressed the surging emotions in her heart, broke free from his embrace calmly, stepped back 2 steps, and looked at the man who had accompanied her for 8 years with cold eyes. All the past warmth faded away in an instant, leaving only alienation and indifference in her heart. She recalled the past memories of their first meeting. When they were 5 years old, Gu Peizi was neat and restrained in formal clothes, while Fu Ning was casual and unrestrained, covered in mud, and they disapproved of each other at first sight. At the age of 13, Gu Peizi became an unattended lonely child due to his parents' divorce, rebellious and decadent, squatting on the street covered in scars. It was Fu Ning who took pity on him, brought him home, took good care of him, and warmed his lonely heart. From then on, she became the only light in his dark and gloomy life. Gu Peizi had confessed his love to her countless times, vowing to marry no one but her and protect her with all his strength for a lifetime. During the low ebb of starting a business, on cold physiological days, in all trivial happy moments of the 4 seasons, he took good care of her meticulously and spoiled her, to be a girl full of joy. It was precisely because of these sincere past kindness that Funing insisted on guarding this disapproved love regardless of her father's strong opposition, and spared no effort to use her natal family's resources to fully support him. For the first time, Funing showed weakness and did Kokatha lied to him softly, begging him to postpone the business trip. She said that there were countless trivial matters to settle before the wedding, and she could not handle them all alone. She cherished the last trace of warmth, hoping that he would cherish their 8 years of friendship and stay by her side. However, Gu Pei was perfunctory from beginning to end. He only comforted her blindly not to be unreasonable and making trouble for no reason, claiming that the project had been followed for a long time and could not be delayed at will. Then he hurried to pack his luggage, absent-minded, impatient all the way. His private mobile phone vibrated crazily midway. When Foon Ing kindly raised her hand it to him, he snatched it rudely without hesitation, and his sharp nails left several scratches on the back of her hand. The usual cherishing look that would make him extremely nervous even if she had a slight scratch disappeared completely, leaving only coldness piercing her heart. Without waiting for Foon Ing to say more, Gu Pei rushed to the airport in a hurry, only perfunctorily saying a few words of comfort, completely ignoring the loneliness and grievance in her eyes. With countless thoughts surging in her mind, Foon Ing clicked on the private blogger account shared by her best friend earlier. A newly updated real-time video exposed the whole truth mercilessly in the kitchen of their wedding house. Gu Pei I personally cooked supper for the young girl with gentle and tender movements. The camera switched, and the girl hung intimately on his shoulder acting coquette sly, saying that she wanted to spend the late night in their new wedding house and go on a date to Disneyland the next day. Foon Ing felt cold all over and immediately opened the exclusive real-time monitoring background of the wedding house. The live scene was unbearable and completely shattered, the last trace of her illusions. In the master bedroom of the wedding house, the two behaved intimately and ambiguously. Beside the photo frame with their love commemorative photo taken in their love years, a white lace private undergarment was randomly hung, extremely humiliating. The next second, Gu Pei's affectionate call came as scheduled. His voice on the receiver was full of false tenderness, lying that he had arrived in Shanghai safely, feeling extremely tired and missing her badly, and pouring out endless sincere love words. However, the synchronous monitoring picture clearly showed that the girl beside him leaned over to kiss him intimately. He dodged sideways, and his lip shape clearly showed "don't make trouble." His duplicitous appearance was extremely hypocritical. Foon Ing was utterly heartbroken, calmly hung up the call, and kept all the monitoring videos, video screenshots, and ticket purchase records silently without any extra emotion, filing all the hard evidence properly to make full preparations. She went to the bathroom alone, or edged uncomfortably due to physical nausea, tears and snot sliding down her face randomly. Her heart ached to the extreme, and she could not make a sound at all. Calmly reviewing all the trivial details of the past, Foon Ing suddenly woke up to the truth. Her father's persistent opposition and private reminders over the years had never been wrong. It was only that she was indulged in love, willfully blinded her eyes, and insisted on going her own way. She resolutely dialed her father's phone number, put aside all her innocence and weakness, admitted defeat frankly, agreed to the wealthy marriage arranged by her father in advance, was willing to let go of her 8-year love, return to her proper position of the Fu family's daughter, and take back all the industries and resources she had personally given to Gu Pei. Her father comforted her steadily without excessive blame, and only reminded her clearly to stop the loss in time, discard the faithless man without hesitation, take back all the family property that belonged to them, end the wedding farce decently, and protect her personal dignity and the foundation of the Fu family. Foon Ing quickly sorted out her thoughts, drove to the wedding house to deal with the aftermath. and found that the door lock had been maliciously replaced by Gu Pei on purpose to guard against her. She contacted the property management calmly to come and replace the lock forcibly, ignoring the strange stares and inquiries of neighbors. Pushing the door open and entering the room, the master bedroom was in a complete mess, ambiguous sundries scattered all over the ground, and a pungent, strange smell filled the air. There was a glaring palm print on the wedding photo frame by the bedside. This wedding house was personally designed and supervised by Fu Ning, filled with all her expectations for the future. But now it was completely polluted and only made her feel disgusted. Without the slightest nostalgia, she immediately contacted an intermediary to list the house for sale, decisively abandoned the polluted house, and together with the deteriorated heart in the faithless man, discarded everything completely. After returning home, she sorted out all the feathers of the 8 years bit by bit the red dress Gu Pei bought for her with his first salary, the jewelry he bought at a huge auction price, thousands of couple photos, and various exclusive commemorative items, all packed into several large boxes and sealed up forever, never to look back again. In contrast, her personal luggage only filled a small 20-inch suitcase, and 8 years of dedication was ultimately a wrong devotion to the wrong person. Late at night, Gu Pei sent a message pretending to be affectionate, begging her to pick him up at the airport the next day and pouring out endless longing sweet words. Fu Ning did not argue unnecessarily, but directly sent the real photos of the messy wedding house, coldly questioning him for this trip. Did he come to see her or meet another woman privately? The next early morning, Gu Pei hurried back, deliberately took out a broken and unboatable mobile phone to make excuses, lying that the flight was delayed and the equipment was damaged. So he had no choice but to stay in a nearby hotel for the night, trying to cover up the truth with perfect lies. Fu Ning watched coldly, neither exposing nor refuting, letting him step forward to get close and please her falsely, only avoiding him inferently and saying that his smell was unpleasant, full of inner resistance. Just at this moment, the private blogger updated again. The real airport photo revealed the truth completely in the corner of the late-night airport, the girl nestled in Gu Pei's arms crying a grieved lie, holding exactly the broken mobile phone he had deliberately shown off. The small pattern hand painted by Fu Ning on the phone case was particularly eye-catching. The accompanying copy was extremely arrogant, saying that breaking the mobile phone was to isolate the legal wife and monopolize Gu Pei's tenderness. Faced with the irrefutable hard evidence, Gu Pei turned pale instantly, panicked thoroughly, and his fluke mentality was completely shattered. Yet he still refused to give up, trying to hold her tightly to please and muddle through, begging humbly for her forgiveness. Fu Ning only felt exhausted physically and mentally, indifferent in heart without any emotional fluctuations, and completely cut off all thoughts of love. After Gu Pei went to work, Fu Ning took the initiative to meet the third-party Yanzhu and confronted her calmly in a business district cafe. Yanzhu had no sense of guilt at all. On the contrary, she confidently talked about her secret crush for many years, claiming that Gu Pei had to pretend to be perfect all the time in front of Fu Ning and was physically and mentally exhausted. Only by her side could he take off all his guards and be his true self. She only wanted to accompany him silently and did not covet fame, status, or reputation. Fu Ning sneered calmly, took off the proposal ring on her ring finger calmly, put it on Yanzhu's hand personally, and sent her the ultimate reply gift calmly. The groom, the wedding, and all reputations are all given to you. I sincerely wish you too. The scum man and the shameless woman to entangle with each other for 100 years and never be separated. The wedding was held as scheduled with full guests and a grand scene. The whole venue was covered with Fu Ning's favorite flowers, all carefully arranged by Gu Pei to pretend deep affection and single-mindedness. He paced anxiously beside the red carpet, full of longing to marry Fu Ning, completely unaware that the crisis of collapse was coming soon. The auspicious time arrived and the bride in wedding dress walked slowly into the venue. Gu Pei Zhi stepped forward happily to hold her hand, whispered about the carefully prepared surprise, and looked forward to the rest of his life wholeheartedly. Until the exchange of tokens and the completion of the wedding ceremony, he lifted the bride's veil with full of joy, and his smile froze on his face in an instant. The person in front of him was not Fu Ning at all, but the elated Yan Zhu. In shock, his private mobile phone vibrated crazily. Fu Ning's cold and calm voice came through the receiver. "Do you like this special wedding gift I prepared for you?" Before he could react, the huge screen at the wedding scene lit up synchronously, playing the high-definition private monitoring video of the wedding house, with the original sound played loudly on the spot. The unbearable voices spread throughout the venue. All the guests were in an uproar instantly, and took photos with their mobile phones one after another, completely ruining the Gu family's reputation on the spot. Public opinion exploded rapidly, and multiple hot searches dominated the list instantly. The only daughter of the Fu group officially announced a marriage alliance with the Zi family. The president of the Gu family was exposed to a shocking scandal on his wedding day. Investors withdrew their capital one after another. The Gu group's capital chain broke instantly, and the group was on the verge of bankruptcy. Gu Pei Zhi panicked completely.